Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Tequila Talks. Your friend Tequila Bay, and man, if you've been feeling down, if you've been a little bit stressed, if you don't know what's going on, 2024, the first month is already over. I have the perfect guest here with us today, my friend Travonte Jr. from Future Motives. What's up, brother?
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here. Really good. I'm ready to dive into some stuff and get going.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we've actually just been kicking it here for a couple hours now as Alex set up all the lighting and the production, and we've just really been able to like peel some layers and converse and share ideas. And I'm like, yo, we gotta wait for the cameras, we gotta wait for the podcast. So Travonte and I, we met a couple years ago. You pulled up to El Patron, you got introduced by Sway. You threw out this idea of Future Motives, something that you were working on.
Yeah.
And then randomly, we've been interconnected with friends, with people. I saw you out at a nightclub for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
And then you came up to El Patron, a month ago? And I'm like, bro, I need to get you on the podcast, because you're also working on your podcast.
Yeah, I am. Also working on my podcast.
So let's go ahead, man. Let's dive into the conversation. Today we're gonna be drinking Lobos Joven, which is a blend of Lobos Tequila. We're gonna do a little bit of a slight bit of tasting notes. If you have any questions, we'll dive into that. But let's go ahead and start the conversation, man. So tell me about Future Motives.
Okay.
Tell me the idea and how that got started and what Future Motives is.
So with Future Motives, how it always started, so really, it always been something that was a creative thought, because I started this back in high school, mind you.
Okay.
So I kind of took it as I was growing, as like getting older. So 2013, junior high school, and that like art space is just artsy. So I was like, all right, let me take it a step forward. And once I get to college, now you learn from things. So I was like, let me learn the business side of it and see where I can take the brand and how I can grow with it. So then it became the fashion show I did on Akron's campus. Mind you, when I took my design class, I always told people this, when I took my fashion design class, the teacher that came in there, she didn't believe I was supposed to be in that room because it was a room full of girls.
Yeah.
So she thought I was in there just for the girls. When I showed, I was like, well, here's my syllabus.
That's funny. That's something I would do. I'd join a class just to be around the women.
I'm in there, and it was actually one of my good friends was in there. We sat in the back of the room, and I was just learning how to make bags, pillows, scarves, and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was just a deep part of me that was like, I need to figure out where to make money from, because I know designing and doing all these pieces is money there, but it's not really where I'll be able to learn wealth. So that's where I started dabbling into more of the business stuff, how consumer marketing, how behavior of customers go about it. Just started figuring that portion out. And as I kept going, so now I started going into, where's the streaming going? Where's the YouTube going with this? How can I take Future Motives not only into a clothing business, into other portions? And I was like, still along the way, I still had good relationships with people. So like Kenny, who I partner with, just the dad from Akron, I was like, that dude is like, we're like this. Like everything we do together, it's like, it feels easy. So it's like, it's meant to be. Yeah,
and I seen his storefront. I think that's when we first met. You were telling me about Future Motives, the clothing and the brand. And you're like, we got the retail space. This is kind of the vision of the brand. So that's really cool, man. And now you're kind of layering that with other branches or facets of what Future Motives, your personal brand, is all about.
Yeah, so just even on some of the main points, I'll have Future Motives, which not only is it meant to motivate you, I'm trying to work in the development of where I can do with mental health. Where can I have people really focus in and have them know that they're not alone, when I'm also trying to apply the clothing side of it. So I want you to wear what you feel, and I want other people to know how you're going about your days and how you fight your day to day. Okay, so man,
let's dive into that conversation. First, let's cheers though, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy a little toast of
Just
tequila.
a little toast of that.
You were talking about the smell. He's like, bro, I can't wait to smell it.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't wait for
the nosing.
this.
So
Ooh.
What do you smell, man? What do you think?
I got a little, the spice. I got a little bit of the spice, but something was telling me, it was like a whisper. It was like, come here, try. Take a little try.
Yeah. We got a little spice notes. Yeah, this one, so the Joven is like, it's a blend of tequila, it's medicinal, it's spicy. Every time I drink tequilas though, this is why I love drinking tequila, there's a new layer. Depending on the mood, the setting, the inspiration, what you're going through. Like I've never noticed this much vanilla in Lobos Joven.
Okay.
I think right now the vanilla, the medicinal, and the spicy pepper notes, that's all I'm really tasting. That's really cool a really cool aspect of like the creative insight. It's all about your feelings, your emotions, what you're going through. And we talked a little bit about that with the trials and tribulations of life, of business. Now that you've been able to, start the clothing line and really try to create a brand image and an embodiment of Future Motives, talk to us about like what got you there, the meaning behind getting there, and like, what are some of those aspects and why is that such a focus for you, like mental health and kind of the journey of going through shit?
Yeah.
Because I can relate to that.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that got me to where I was pushing and moving it, I really, in my mind, it's not that I'm going with the flow, like I have my vision for where I want Future Motives to be, but everybody I'm networking with and coming across is kind of like taking me in places where, all right, I didn't envision this, but I want to see how it's gonna bounce and like blow up from. So even partnering with Kenny, I never knew that because I was working at FedEx Ground. A guy who knew I was making clothes in the company that I was working for was like, you should talk to this guy, Kenny. I think you guys would be really cool. I get his number, I go meet this dude, and next thing I know, we're the bestest of friends, and now I'm working in a store. I didn't even think I was gonna have a retail front or know that was gonna happen, to be a partner with somebody who I can literally have his back, he has my back, we're gonna bounce off each other's ideas.
And his brand is Just the Dad from Akron.
Yeah.
He's built a cool like brand and notoriety here.
And there's times where it's like, well, he was like, we just meet up and we're linked. He's like, yo, I'm stuck on like this idea of what I'm trying to put out. Can you give me some inspiration or something? And I'm like, all right, I've been thinking about this and what I see from that, and maybe that might help him with this next collection he's trying to put down, or anything that like helps me. So now that's why all the stuff he has put in place, I'm like, I like that. And then when I go back and look at some things I have, and I was like, I'm gonna tweak this a little bit because I see where it's gonna push. Because it was a thing where I always tell people, he's doing so much things for the community, and I'm trying to do so many things for people's mental health and well-being. It's like, and I'm like, those two together is like a 1-2 punch.
And that's really where like the brand Future Motives, I'm big on delayed gratification, what you're gonna get done and why you're actually doing things. Future Motives.
Yeah.
You're going through something tough, you're going through a challenge, you keep getting knocked down, you switch jobs, something might happen. For the instance of El Patron, we're about to hit our year 3 mark. But man, it's been a fucking roller coaster. And the amount of times that I've want to quit, and the amount of times that I'm like, damn, I want to completely change industry. I don't want to be in restaurants. But it's that future idea. It's that long-term goal that keeps me motivated when I'm down. And that mental health component for you has been important in fighting through those situations. So what's the thing that you would say that helps you the most in your mental health space? And then what is like one of your most important lessons that like allowed you to see that?
So to keep it on a real note, like my family, ever since I was young, they always had, it's always like family drama and stuff going on, but it's like you're not knowing the real what's really happening. Why did this happen to this aunt, or why did this happen to this uncle or family member?
Yeah, especially when you're younger.
Yeah, you're younger because
kind of shelter you.
Yeah, they shadow it over you, and they just like. But then once you get older, it's like, oh, this stuff been hidden. Why has it been hidden? And then now, as me being a baby brother and going through things, trying to see where I can push and like motivate myself. I've always been told, is like, dude, no matter all the stuff that always happens, you are always highly like motivated. I was like, because I can't stop. I don't want to stop. I was like, I think the most thing I always say to myself all the time is, what is like the word? It's usually like a word I usually always tell myself, I'm not satisfied. I'm just not satisfied. I was like, every day, even when I'm angry, like even though I woke up stressed out a little bit, I was like, I'm not satisfied. I was like,
let's find a way to make it better, I'm
looking at my dog, I was like, you should be at a park playing somewhere. You should be outside, I shouldn't have to worry about you laying here.
And satisfaction doesn't always need to come from like the monetary sense, bro. Like there's so many things that satisfy you, that fulfill you. And at least for me, for my purpose, it's just like, man, I chase money just because I want to fucking build more businesses and help more people, but like the true satisfaction comes from those little moments in your life where, you look at your dog, or you look at your friends, or the people that are working with you, or you see someone succeed. So yeah, I can definitely reflect on that. So not being satisfied, that's really what allows you to kind of get through some of those tough mental patches. Can you give me like an experience or something that's been really challenging for you that you've been able to overcome in business?
So there's 2 points. So 2 points will be having to try to work a job and go to taking your clothing business to a store and trying to do everything, because everything I do, I literally do it by myself. So I was like, I'm trying to not only keep myself afloat, I'm trying to put my business in a position where, all right, it's gonna grow. But I'm like, on top of that, there's been moments, just like you said, I was like, there's moments where I'm like, man, is this even worth it?
Yeah.
Should I even keep pushing this part, or should I just like drop it and do something else? And it's like,
it's that future motives, bro. We're gonna keep saying that. Future motives, baby.
It's that time where I'm like, man, if I stop this now, what am I gonna think about if I stop this? I was like, did I give up on myself? Like, no, there's no way you're gonna give up on yourself because you're not satisfied.
Yeah, you can't give up.
Yeah, I'm not. I was like, I'm not a person that gives up. I was like, I don't give up easily. I was like, and I think that from sports, from playing the sports, because I didn't even know I was gonna go to college. I was the first person in my family. I just went through school like anybody else would go through school. But once sports and basketball, because I really love basketball, that people know. But everybody was like, you're better at football. Oh, I hated that. Yeah. Oh, I hated that. Oh, I hated that.
And then you listened to it, and then you started playing football.
Yeah, there was my junior year, all my friends were actually, they all surrounded me in high school. We were in the locker room because I told them I was about to stop playing football. And I was like, I'm just gonna focus on basketball. They looked at me so crazy. They was like, what? You about to what? They was like, you're not allowed. We're not allowing you to quit. Yeah. And shit you not, as soon as that junior year, we won states in football.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
We won states in football, and I still told them, I was like, yo, I don't think I still want to play football. And they looked at me again, it was like, bro, we just won states, so that's what you want to do?
So you're not satisfied.
I was like, hey. Then I thought about it again, and I was like, I'm gonna just stick it, something told me, stick it out. We won 2 years in a row, states. And then next thing you know, I'm getting stuff in the mail from colleges, and I'm like, is this normal? Is this what happens? I'm getting all this stuff. Next thing you know, I'm getting offered a scholarship.
But that started from a moment of self-doubt, and bro, like, I'm gonna just tell you this too, man. To you and to the viewers, like, I say this about entrepreneurship, it's over-sensationalized, and I think like social media has created this like vision of like entrepreneurship. You're cool, you're powerful, you got all these things that go for you. Entrepreneurship's the worst, honestly, in terms of the challenges and the responsibility, because you face moments that create self-doubt, that create worry, but that's why entrepreneurs are rewarded the most. And in my journey, I look around at myself, at my peers, or the situations that I'm in, and I'm like, I'm willing to eat dog shit for 3, 4, 5 years, relatively, right? I'm putting myself through these moments. I'm going through hardships. I'm alone. I get broken up with. I'm trying to make ends meet. I'm trying to see it through. Not a lot of people are willing to go through that. And that's why working a normal job, sometimes it seems nice. I'm like, man, I wish I could just wake up.
It's that safety blanket that.
Just wake up, clock in, clock out, cash a check, and not have to go through all this shit. But then I think about the moment that we arrive to the next plateau, because it'll always be plateaus. You'll always be leveling up, and you're going up plateau. So I'm like, the moment I reach the next plateau, I'm gonna be unapologetic, and I'm gonna be like, this is exactly what it was worth. And not any of you, or not anyone is willing to take these challenges on. So I think that's where like the real reward for me is, like, when you're facing those moments of doubt, that's when opportunity just comes knocking. So yeah, pushing through that stuff is really important.
I was gonna say, just on top of that, just the being an entrepreneur, stuff that I learned, I was like, it's literally not for the weak. Like the amount of stuff, and growing up in a city and seeing people that like take things the easy route, and some people are like, no, I just need to make this bag, or I was like, yeah, you're making a bag, but what are you? You're doing the same thing you're still doing. You haven't grown from it. I was like, even though I haven't had like a stable like job setting, but I'm like bouncing from jobs, I have met more people than I ever have not been stuck at this or stuck at that.
Just going through the motions.
And I'm like, the business mixers. Then I started acting. I started taking acting classes. Who would have knew? Who would have knew? I've been in a TV show. I got on a Cleveland Browns commercial. I'm like, who would have knew?
That's what you told me the last time I seen you at the club. I was like, bro, I'm about to be, I just got casted.
I was like, I just got cast to be on a TV show. And I was like, and I got asked in an email, or I think it was on Instagram, it was a medic who was really cool. She was like, yeah, they're trying to bring people back. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and bro, like that's one of the things about entrepreneurship. It's like, it looks, or like being successful, it looks like luck. Oh, that guy's lucky, she's lucky, it happened. But it's just about preparation.
Yeah.
And not a lot of everyone sees what goes on behind the scenes of preparation, all those struggles and all those situations, and you're really focused again on the future motives and on your why.
Yeah.
And you're willing to go through that. And then it does seem like luck because you prepare yourself, and you would have never prepared yourself if you were just kicking back, not really trying, going through the motions. So man, I have a lot of respect for you, bro. Like from the moment that I met you, man, you told me about your brand, Future Motives, the storefront. Now that I've seen you diving into the podcasting, like I think that's kind of the hip thing to do now. Because again, you got to put yourself out there, right? So the podcasting, the live streaming. So tell me about what will be like the next phase of growth for you as you start to create the podcast and the Future Motives brand. Like what got you into the podcasting, and how do you want to grow that?
So really what happened was I'm a gamer. So I've been gaming ever since I've been able to game, Xbox, all that stuff. So I've been streaming. After I started streaming, something clicked in my head was, if I'm gonna stream, why not try podcasting everything I'm streaming, not through just one platform, multiple platforms. Let me take the stuff which people like to see me play scary games. It's like, oh, people love to see me jump scare. People love to see me just in terror. I was like, maybe I'm just a big guy and people just like to see me scared. I was like, I don't know. I went from that route to now I want to figure out if I can't do something in a city myself, which I always tell my friends, let's work together. So now I'm gonna force people to come to me, bring your business, bring what you do creative on my podcast, let's have fun, and let everybody in the city see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's how I want to kind of bring it, and that's how I want to take it. But on top of that, I'm not letting the clothing part is still it's set to a side, but it's still being pushed because now I'm kind of moving away from the retailer spot, because if I can use the platforms to push what I'm wearing all the time, which I'm like, now everybody can pre-order.
So yeah, man, let's take a break, because you have a new shirt, I have a new shirt, and let's talk about the merchandising component. So we just did a new colorway drop. We got the Script Tequila t-shirt. And again, like for us, like for me, like a restaurant business, we can sell merchandise, we can sell like clothing. We don't need a retail front, but as you build a brand on the internet, you're able to tap into people that rock with you, and they're like, yeah, I want fucking Script Tequila t-shirt. So what do you got? You got some new, you got a QR code, so make sure the camera can see that.
So just so you can see, when everybody's walking around and everybody see, oh, Future Motives, you will always have a way to find me.
Hell yeah.
All my clothes, my t-shirts, hoodies, everything you see. So you'll find my Instagram, my Twitter blog, my Facebook page, you'll find my Snapchat, everything I do all my promotional stuff on, you'll find. And this is one of the mental health awareness collections that I have. I have a hoodie that says, actually I'm trying to think, because this shirt, so many thoughts in my head.
You're good, bro, you're good.
Just with the hoodie, it says that don't be anybody else, be yourself. And then it got my little robots bouncing off all over it. And then on the front, it'll have the FM. And then on this one, my mental health sweater right here.
Let me read it. There's nothing that you aren't strong enough to get through. You are loved, you're cared for, you are strong, you are worthy.
Yeah.
So some like self-care, some motivational stuff.
And I've got like a good core of people that like always see this. I'm always wearing this stuff. So when people are like, where can I buy that? I was like, you buy it through me. I ship it to you personally. And I'm like, I want to do it personally, because I know since the store, it wasn't the thing that like really was going.
The physical retail space,
So like, since I'm always moving and I'm always trying to find out how I can grow and figure things out, if I can keep on the go and just keep getting people to buy stuff as I'm on the go, more people that see this stuff, then I can find a way how to build that brand, which is Future Motives, how I can inspire everybody.
And I like the way you pivoted, man. I was just recently on the Small Business Big Conversations podcast, and I talked about pivoting and the importance of pivoting in business. Like, when you see that something's not working, it doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't mean you're not, that you weren't meant to do it, or that you don't know everything. Like, pivoting is so important. It's like a great self-reflection, because you're able to actually change the way you do business. So like the fact that you're like, hey, I failed at retail with a retail front, but there's now an opportunity to start scaling on the media platform and promoting your products there, dude. Like, that's the most important thing about business, is pivoting. And I alluded to that in that podcast, and why being an engineer, pivoting has been so important into going through my own failures in business.
Okay.
You know, I drop a new menu, the new menu item doesn't work, or I hire the wrong people, or I spend my money in the wrong way, or I invest in the wrong thing. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that without the failure component. So I love the way that you pivoted there.
Yeah.
And now you're really focusing on the virtual retail front.
I think that's the way we get people's attention. So I'm like, that's the best way, because usually, you know how it is, even with a restaurant, people always are like, oh, I'm coming in this day, and they're like, okay, I'll see you this day, and then it's like, all right, I'll see you next week, and then it's like, oh, I'll see you next month.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, because like, everybody's mind is always so like distracted, or it's like, oh, they said it was coming this day, but it's like, unless you're like constantly on them, which social media, we're always everywhere. It's like always in our attention. It's like, you'll be on your phone. That's why I have the QR code, because you'll be on your phone.
Yeah, you have no excuse to not tap in and spend some money.
And then once you hit the QR code, it's gonna be in your Safari link. So like, you're gonna look at your phone regardless, you're still gonna see me. So now you may have a chance to actually do this.
And bro, like that's been the even actually kind of the why as to why we're doing Tequila Talks and why I'm so focused on social media. I just wanna be in people's faces. I mean, I might annoy some people, but the right people will rock with me. They'll help me grow this brand. And like, even for the restaurant sense, man, like we post a food video or a picture, that gets people to be like, damn, I'm craving some birria tacos. I'm stepping into El Patron or the tequilas, etc. We've
I'll get some right now.
Yeah, bro. So like, we've recently tapped into with a couple of different creators, like food creators and vloggers. And the amount of people that have walked through our doors because like, oh, we saw you on TikTok, we saw you on Instagram. And like, that's the power of why social media is so crucial. So if you're in business and you're not tapping into a podcast, photography, content creation, you definitely should get on that wave, because everyone's on their phone.
Everyone's on their phone.
Everyone's got it in their pocket. So if she's not texting you back, I don't like that excuse. Oh, I didn't see your, no. She's out there, she's on her phone, or he, whichever one it is. But yeah, everyone's on their phone.
Man.
So these are all excuses. So whether it's in business
or
your personal life.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, she ain't not seen your text. So let's go ahead. You had a question for me. I'm very intrigued. This question.
And then to go back, I meant to say
go back.
Before I go to the question, to know my podcast is called Elevate EP, and EP stands for Experience Perspectives. And I always want to make sure, like, say, just for you, for instance, if we were on it, I'll say, get it off your chest. That'll be the first thing I'll say, get it off your chest, so everybody knows who you are, what you do.
Well, I got a lot on my chest. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So that's how I like started out, and I'm like, and I have it in just the comfort. I built it all in my home, so I'm like, I want to always do that in my space. And then if you're having this, I was like, oh, okay, let me have a question for you and see what it'll get to have you just on your toes. And just to throw you off. So just like this question I'm gonna ask you now.
Yeah, go for it, man. I've been fucking itching for this.
So this question I thought about, because when I got told, I was like, do you want to get on Tequila Talk? And I was like, all right, what question can I ask you that'll get you thinking for a second? I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, wait, what if you already know the answer? And then so I'm backtracking, but like, this would be a good one. So with tequila, if someone wants tequila outside of somewhere else, like another country, now would that still be tequila, or is that their knockoff of what something else is?
That's a great question. So there's something called agave spirits.
Okay.
There's a distillery here in Ohio. It's called, I think it's like not Northwater. It's, oh shoot, I forget the name of the distillery. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, there's a distillery in Ohio that creates bourbon, whiskeys and gins and vodkas, and they have an agave spirit. So if it's actually not made in Jalisco, in Mexico, it cannot be called tequila. It's like champagne, it's like all those like bourbon. If bourbon's, bourbon's a whiskey, but it has to be made in a specific region to be called bourbon. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we could be fucking making some tequila right now, but we wouldn't be able to call it tequila because we're not in Jalisco. Okay. So outside of any other country, you can be drinking some agave. I know that as the shortages of agaves continue to be more prevalent, as the industry, we have LeBron James tequila, and we have Michael Jordan and The Rock and all these. No, we're gonna bleep that one out. I don't want to be insulting anybody.
Yeah. That's how you get bought. They can buy
So
you
it's
right
just
there.
like, I've actually been asked that question, like, how do you feel as a Mexican? You know, people are taking your culture and monetizing it. It's just like, man, at the end of the day, it's business. So survival of the fittest. If you have an opportunity, make some money. For the celebrities that are capitalizing off their brand and their likeness, great, capitalize on their brand and their likeness.
Right.
But, you know, pour back into those communities, because again, tequila is a very specific, protected product, right? So like, it has to come from a specific region, under specific circumstances, an appellation of origin. So there's artisans, there's Mexican farmhands, there's so many people that need to be accounted for.
Okay.
So if you're a celebrity and you just want to create a tequila and you want to put your name on it, like, great, but just make sure that you have a bigger why other than making money. So great question.
Yeah.
Great sound bites. Alex, bleep the bad words out of there. But if not, we'll roll with it. Yeah, especially Michael Jordan. Like, Mike, just stick to basketball, bro. Like, you're not even that good in tequila, in the tequila world, but
He might come in and buy a couple things off you.
yeah. I never want to sever any relationships. So yeah, we're gonna roll that back. But yeah, man. So we've had a great time here on the podcast.
Really
I
did.
think we're hitting our limit. You know, we're gonna wrap this up. Any ending remarks? Again, what's your takeaway about being on the Tequila Talks podcast? And what do you have like planning up for the next couple weeks, months, and in 2024?
I mean, for now, I'm about to say, well, thank you so much for having me on. For real, to be honest, this was like really good, man. This was really good. I enjoy this stuff. This was fun. Like, I would be on this as much as you would have me. That's how much fun I'm having.
I gotta come on to your podcast live.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer myself, so
Yeah.
I'll hop on there and play some video games with you, bro.
That's what I can end on. So like, even then I do like the gaming, I switch it from the gaming portion to the podcast portion. So then it's a whole different setup to where it's like, when it looks like a gaming setup to where it look like we just chilling and talking about things. Because then you'll have everybody on Facebook watching you, asking questions. Oh, I know him, or what's this and this and that. So I just always try to separate the two. That's why I always have a way to separate the two. So I always let people know, even with like Lois, I'm letting you know this now. Make sure I say it right. Make sure I said your name right.
Oh yeah, Luis. Tequila Bay official.
Luis.
LJ.
Every time.
This is my like sign. This is my like gang sign in high school. LJ.
Hey, just to have it, Luis. I want to share this with you and with everybody else. Every time you're doing something that's important to you, and every time you're doing something creative, your mental health is non-negotiable. I say that on all my podcasts. I say it on everything I do with my gaming. Every time when I start my gaming, I might say like, what it do, it's your boy. But I always say your mental health is non-negotiable. So make sure you remember that and stay true to it.
That's an amazing way to end. Mental health's important. I had a challenging 2023 in terms of mental health. And when I started pouring back into my own cup, this is probably about October, November, December, to start the year off right, man. Like, it's made such a difference. So thank you for that remark. If you're struggling with mental health, if you're going through things, man, just know there's future motives, that there's things that are gonna be waiting for you, ready for you. Don't give up, keep rolling with the punches. For Tequila Talks, you know, we're building. I have a goal and a vision that's set way beyond these years, that when we arrive to the point where I know I'm gonna arrive, Tequila Talks is gonna be that platform that's gonna help me scale my businesses, help me scale my influence. So just to have these connections very early on, you're gonna be the 4th episode. Just to have these connections very early on, I'm gonna look back and I'll be like, man, like those were some fun times.
Man, I believe.
So yeah, Tequila Talks has been a cool opportunity. Alex is tapped in. All the people that are joining the podcast are tapped in with a vision. So I appreciate that. Never stop growing. Keep on going. For the next episode of Tequila Talks, we're gonna be working with some different tequila brands. We got some special edition Código Extra Añejos. We got those Corazones that I've been talking about. We have a very special El Tesoro Tequila that is aged in Knob Creek Bourbon. So Alex and I are gonna be tapping into some Tequila Talks reviews. The podcasts have been a great time. Let's do one last cheers.
One last cheers.
I think we had a lot of fun here, man. I told you we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, create some sound bites, have a little bit of fun, not be so serious about the conversation, but we brought a lot of value, so I just want to say thank you. Please leave me your comments, like, subscribe to Tequila Talks. Find me on Instagram, Tequila Bay Official, Instagram, TikTok. Please continue to be part of this journey. Go ahead, drop your handles, man. That way people can tap in with you.
You can find Future Motives on Instagram. You can find Future Motives on YouTube. Future Motives is everything. You'll find me anywhere with the name Future Motives on all platforms. So anytime you need to find me, you can always find me, or you can find your friends that have the clothing, so you'll always catch me.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Saludcita, and like I always say, shoot your shot and sip tequila.